Hello there, and welcome to another edition of the Husker Online Show. Sean Callahan, Steve Sipple, Robin Washut, as we get ready to head out on the road this week out to UCLA in Pasadena, California. We're presented on the show by Underdog Fantasy. You'll hear more from them. We're also brought to you by Omaha Steaks. And look, great time to get on omahasteaks.com. Load up. You cannot beat, guys, the mouth-watering hamburgers, steaks. I can't tell you how much I love their burgers and just how juicy, how mouth-watering their products are. And they make it easy. You go online, you pick out the different combinations of food that you want to get in Omaha Steaks. It's not just steaks, by the way, Sip. It's chicken, it's pork, it's seafood, it's side items, it's desserts, it's wine. They've got it all at omahasteaks.com. A lot of their items are already heavily discounted. Well, we're going to give you another $35 off the discounted price. God. All you have to do is use the promo code HuskerOnline at checkout. That's promo code HuskerOnline, and you're going to get $35 off at omahasteaks.com. Thanks again to omahasteaks.com. I know they've gotten a lot of people through this football season with their great, juicy, mouth-watering products at their tailgate party. So thanks again, Omaha Steaks, for sponsoring us here on the Husker Online Show. But guys, out to UCLA, it's always interesting, but this is really interesting. You go out to UCLA, they're coming off a bye week. They've got an interim coaching staff with Tim Skipper and kind of lead lieutenant Jerry Neuheisel going against Nebraska without Dylan Raiola, with TJ Lateef at quarterback. Tell me you're not intrigued, as you would say, Steve Sipple.
Well, yeah, I'm wildly intrigued. You don't know exactly what to expect. There's this temptation to come. Oh, God. I sometimes I catch myself just being moronic. Why would you overlook UCLA for a second if you're Nebraska? No. And now, listen, UCLA beat Penn State. Now, Penn State's I know they're on a horrendous run right now. That gets your attention. They scored 42 against Penn State. If UCLA doesn't have Nebraska fans' attention, UCLA went to East Lansing and won by 25. All right, they beat Michigan State 38-13. So yeah, they got my attention. And I know I go against the grain on the Nico Amaliva discussion, but I like him. I think he's a scary quarterback. I've seen him run the ball. That's a tough picture. I guarantee you, when Nebraska's watching film, they're going, okay, look at 6'6", 250-pound quarterback there.
Yeah, Nebraska, whether it's UCLA or Penn State or Iowa, is in no position to overlook anyone right now because they've got too much at stake right now. Having to replace Dylan Raiola with a true freshman quarterback, making his very first start on the road against a confident UCLA football team, and then the stakes of making sure that this thing doesn't completely go on the downslide over the regular course of the regular season to where, people are saying, what happens if they finish 6-6? Well, a way to stop that right now, stop the bleeding coming off that really disappointing USC loss, is to go out and play well with your new quarterback in a critical road game to keep some positivity going on into the postseason. So a lot at stake for Nebraska. And yeah, whether it's UCLA, which they have no reason to overlook, or anybody else, this has got to be about Nebraska playing its best football this week.
And guys, earlier in the week, they did obviously announce that Dylan Raiola out for the season with his leg injury. He's going to go to New York to have surgery on that leg. So he will not be on this trip. He'll be recovering. He'll be having the surgery in New York.
Yeah, so he left Tuesday.
With a specialist.
With a specialist. So he's going to New York, and he wanted to go to L.A., and Rule said no go. Not just recover. You don't need to. Yeah,
after you have your leg all wrapped up and surgically, the last thing you want to do is be on a plane for 3 or 4 hours.
Mm-hmm. So here we go without Dylan. What will it look like with Lateef? We're going to cover that in the offensive part of this show. But that's intriguing. What's the crowd look like at 8 p.m. Central, 6 p.m.?
A lot of red.
Oh, how much?
25,000. And I'm going off historical past data of all the trips we've made to Oregon, Washington, UCLA, USC. Yeah. What other West Coast? Those are the main West Coast trips we've been on. Fresno State was another one.
Yeah, that was a big crowd.
Where it was freaky, how many more Nebraska fans were at Fresno State than actual Fresno State fans.
And And I think, Sean, you said something off air earlier today. That could be a big lift for Nebraska, Rob.
Mm-hmm.
Big lift.
Well, you take into account, too, that guess who the quarterback, where he's from? Right in that backyard of, Southern California. There's a bunch of other players. Matt Rule said that he's never had more ticket requests than he has this week for this UCLA
His
game.
personal request.
Yeah. So, I mean, I think this is going to be a high-demand game. And don't underestimate the Nebraska presence, the alumni base in California. The Californians for Nebraska and alumni chapters as big as there is in any of the country. So it's always well represented on the West Coast, and especially a game like this where you're going to the Rose Bowl, and then with the local ties of high-profile players on this team. Keona Davis talked about having a whole bunch of family members. So the list goes on of this being a big deal for a lot of these West Coast Huskers coming back home, plus all the other incentives of what this means for Nebraska season. And then there's the natural base of Nebraska fans in California. Yeah, I think 20,000 is probably a safe bet.
And Nebraska is a slight underdog going out to this game. And they're not going to go out any earlier. It makes sense. Why would you go out Thursday? I mean, that would almost kind of be not necessary.
It'd be fun if we did.
Should we just go out Thursday? We got to recover.
We could
acclimate.
Yeah, just come back on Monday. How about that?
We've thought we can't do that. It'd be kind of fun though. Actually, we could. Although Rule will probably be available on Monday, right?
Yeah, that's the hard thing about traveling. Even Archie, you got to come back Sunday because you got to get back to work Monday. So,
right.
But they will fly back late. They're not going to get back, guys, until Sunday, like 5 a.m.
Yeah, Rule said 5 a.m., 6 a.m. Central. Right.
So Sunday's an off day, as you would expect, so they can sleep and try to get back to a normal schedule.
Well, the game won't end until like 11:30 Central.
Mm-hmm. And they lose 2 hours on the flight back.
So I'm saying, they're going to be lucky to get on the plane by 2 a.m.
Mm-hmm.
These are not great trips for the student athlete. And if you're a West Coast team constantly having to do this, it's not good. I don't care what any. Yeah. Well, I don't even think anybody pushes.
Student athlete well-being is at the top of everyone's priority list right now, isn't it?
No, it's not.
Conference payout checks of $83 million are a little bit higher prioritized.
Way higher. It's sort of. I think it's a little ridiculous how much they take advantage of the student athlete at this.
Well,
point.
They've upgraded the planes though. Nebraska uses Gridiron Air, and these are huge, comfy planes where. There are I think there's 28 lay flat seats.
That helps.
And then you've got most of the other players getting their own row or more. No one has. So they've made the traveling. They're not sitting butt to butt on a Southwest Airlines plane.
But sitting coach on a Spirit Airlines flight.
There are college football teams though that do it that way because they have to. You heard Isaiah Hunter at Cal when they flew to Florida State. It was a 5-6 hour flight from Berkeley to Tallahassee, and I think it was 6 hours, and they didn't have any special food or anything. He goes, "It's the peanuts and the pretzels." I'm
That's not good.
It's like flying with you, Sip.
Well, in what regard, Sean?
Because you just pass out.
I don't demand much.
I've flown with you to Hawaii and Ireland, and I've never even seen you watch a show, a movie.
That's not true.
Or read a book.
No, I think I've watched a movie. I've tried to. I don't know.
Just watching the flight tracker.
It's like I'm a monk. I like quiet contemplation.
It's a test of discipline and willpower.
Yeah,
you just look so peaceful. When I look over at you, I look at you and you just smile.
I'm jealous because he's immediately falls asleep.
He's just at peace.
Where I didn't sleep at all on that Ireland flight. I was miserable. Where Sip was just spring chicken rested.
Yeah, I just fall asleep is what happens.
You turn off your phone. You're like, whoop.
All right, guys. See you in a few hours.
All right. Well, should be a good trip, guys, out there. Looking forward to that when we come back. Let's get into this game more. Let's talk offensive storylines led by TJ Lateef at quarterback next. You're listening here to the Husker Online Show. Back here on the Husker Online Show, Sean Callahan, Steve Sipple, Robin Washut, as we talk offensive storylines for Nebraska as the Huskers head out to UCLA. Before we get to that, we're brought to you again by our presenting sponsor, Underdog Fantasy. And look, they make it so fun, so easy to get into the action with any sport, not just football, basketball, baseball, soccer, you name it. It's as easy as picking your favorite sport game, selecting your favorite player, and going on the stat categories higher or lower on that player on that specific stat. So it could be TJ Lateef. If they post a prop on him, his rushing number is going to be higher or lower than 45.5 yards.
What would you set it at?
I would set Lateef at 40 yards.
Over.
Rushing, yeah, I'd take it over.
Might have to go higher.
I think he's going to have to run for that.
Emmett Johnson's over, or not over, under, higher or lower number. For Emmett Johnson on Underdog, I'm going to put it at 118.5.
Over.
UCLA's
the 124th ranked rushing defense in the country.
But yeah, it's that easy, guys. You take your combination. Now you can only pick one player. You can't do like Emmett Johnson in 3 categories. It's one category per player.
Okay.
And you can take a UCLA player, a Nebraska player, any game, and mix and match those, and you can win up to 5,000 times your cash with Underdog Fantasy. And we've got a great promo deal with HuskerOnline right now. Download the app, Underdog, sign up with a promo code Husker25, and score $100 in bonus funds or entries when you play your first $5. That's promo code Husker25. Put $5 in, you're going to get $100 in promo cash right back. Underdog, make picks, win money. You must be 18, 19 and over in Alabama and Nebraska, 19 and over in Colorado for some games, 21 plus in Arizona, Massachusetts, and Virginia, and present in a state where Underdog Fantasy operates. Terms apply. Offer not valid in Maryland, Michigan, New Jersey, New York, Ohio, and Pennsylvania. Concerns your play, call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit ncpgambling.org. In New York, call 24/7 Hope line at 1-877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY. That's 467-369. Thanks to Underdog for sponsoring us here on the Husker Online Show. But guys, let's get into this discussion with the offense, because I think now it's a balance. How much do you go to Emmett Johnson, and what do you put on the plate of TJ Lateef?
You go a lot to Emmett Johnson. Again, UCLA, they have struggled defensively. 124th nationally rush defense. They are the worst third down defense in America, 134th nationally. That doesn't mean that they're not. I don't want to characterize them as just being flat out awful. We went through their wins. They've got some decent wins. But yeah, this is, again, Emmett. Why not lean on him? He looks great. His legs look live. And I think you go out there and, come on, man, you got a freshman quarterback.
Yeah, it's no-brainer across the board. He's your best offensive weapon. You're protecting a true freshman quarterback in his first start, and you're exploiting significant weaknesses on your opponent's defensive side of the ball, where they can't stop the run, they can't get off the field on third down. Let Emmett do his thing, ride him early and often. And Dana, I think, is more than willing to do that. Ran him 29 times against USC, and I think that Emmett felt fine coming after that, off that game, off that workload. And so they're in a situation now where it's all hands on deck, and you're not worried about workload management or anything like that. You do whatever it takes to win the game. And right now, the player that gives you the best chance to win is Emmett Johnson over and over again.
Ideally, it would be nice for them to be able to get Lateef to the line of scrimmage before the helmet runs out, just so Holgorsen can talk to him a little bit. But it's going to be challenging, because they will huddle up with him, because there's a lot of verbiage for a true freshman. But in a perfect world, if you could get him up to the line of scrimmage with 10 seconds to spare, just so Holgorsen can speak to him a little bit more on what they're seeing, there's going to be some of that, I think, that goes into this game.
Oh, my God, I'm glad you mentioned that, because this is where we can do the Dylan Raiola appreciation segment. He was great at that. You didn't worry about the operation with Dylan. You didn't worry about play getting in, play getting called correctly. Guys in the right spots. You seldom worried about it. He was a great operator. And now that's a big chore. Now, thankfully, you're in a stadium where it's not going to be loud. There'll be no silent count or anything like that.
Half the crowd's going to be your own fans.
Right. So
that's nowhere near their campus either. So like the students to go there, it's like an hour ride.
That helps. As far as Dylan goes, as a quarterback, you take a lot of slings and arrows, but he finishes this season. He was completing 72.4% of his passes, 2,000 yards, 18 TDs, 6 interceptions. That's a 3-to-1 ratio. Those numbers are good. He was a better quarterback this year than he was last year. Obviously, and then I don't know if you guys heard it today. Holgorsen said that there was a question about Ja'Cory Barney. Why isn't he getting the ball? He says, because we can't. He basically said we don't protect enough to get the ball downfield. Mm-hmm. We don't have time to get the ball downfield, which is what I always try to tell people. Nobody listens. Why does he hold the ball? Because there's nobody open.
Well, here's the interesting dynamic now with Lateef is you do actually have a more mobile quarterback.
Right.
And so the idea of teams dropping 2 deep, 3 deep safeties and daring Nebraska to throw the ball deep, I don't know if you can do that, because Emmett Johnson has proven to be a weapon you have to account for. And now you add the QB run game into your offense. That changes things about how teams have to defend Nebraska now. Now, with that, TJ has to be able to capitalize on teams when they bring safeties up into the box to try to defend the run. You have to hit some deep balls to open things up, because if you're sitting there facing an 8-9 man box, you're going to have a tough sled. So they took some shots against USC. There's one that Dana said should have been caught. There was another where he just kind of threw it a little bit behind Isaiah Hunter along the sideline. So I think he has that ability in them where he's not just going to be this one-dimensional, like the Harburg type quarterback where they can't even throw the ball downfield. But so I think that's something they have to.
He was an elite 11 quarterback.
Yeah, they have to keep him from falling into this one-dimensional kind of game plan and take some shots downfield to exploit what his running ability could do to UCLA.
Now,
defense.
The good news, guys, on the offensive line, Elijah Pritchett did practice this week. So hopefully he's your left tackle with Corcoran at right tackle. Should
be fine.
Tyler Knack, kind of your first guy off the bench. But kind of a out of nowhere story with Gunnar Gatula that he's now out for the year.
Yeah, just kind of mentioned in the conversation. Gunnar gone for the year.
So, I mean, did it happen in the Minnesota game, or was he kind of battling through? Is kind of the question. We don't know, but makes more sense why he struggled against Minnesota, because he was obviously playing through something, and now his year's over.
Yeah, you feel pretty good, though. If Pritchett's okay, Corcoran's playing pretty well. Should be okay at tackle.
Interior's fine.
Yeah, as far as Lateef goes. Now, remember that ball he threw against Houston Christian. It was a 62-yard dime.
Into the wind.
Yeah, to Cortez Mills. I'm not worried about his arm strength. I think he can throw the ball downfield. He's just got to get protection. The protection thing might change a little bit because of his running ability. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe it doesn't change at all. But the offensive line probably deserves a little credit, actually, because they do have the number 1 rusher in the Big Ten, right?
Number 1 rusher in Power 4 football.
Yeah, Donovan Raiola can say, you guys. I hear a lot of criticism. Who's the number 1 rusher in the Big Ten right now?
Now they're also the 12th rated rushing offense.
Cold water.
They also
poured.
have the least
cold water poured.
Just saying.
I threw this trivia question out to Sip this morning. I'm gonna see if Robin knows who is. Oh, you got the stats in front of you. You might get it. Who is Nebraska's second leading rusher on the year?
Second leading rusher.
Don't look.
Oh boy, I'm not looking. I'm gonna go Dylan.
No, Quentin Ives.
Ives.
So I mean that puts into perspective their running back situation, where a guy that we haven't seen play in a significant role other than Houston Christian is your number 2 rusher.
Did he get in there against Akron too?
He got in for a blitz pickup in a game the other day, but again, that's their running back room. They don't really I mean, they've gotten Nelson going and they've gotten Mosey going out there a little bit more.
Not
but
much.
it's a small plate.
Yeah. Ives also had 4 carries for 34 against Akron, but yeah, he made his hay against Houston Christian, but meant nothing. Sean, I'm not joking. You could have rushed 10 times for 50 yards against Houston Christian. I'm not saying you would have got 84, but you might have got 50. You would need to rest between play.
No,
the Dylan guess, by the way, was purely sack adjusted yards.
Was it?
Anywho, sack yardage, he's probably in the negative.
The other kind of revelation this week that I found interesting is the next wave of tackles. That would be Preston Tamua at left, and Grant Bricks at right.
Knack.
Well, yeah, I mean behind Knack, I guess. Behind the
and Bricks had not been traveling, Robin.
Correct? I mean, like the next wave.
Next wave.
Yeah.
Beyond that.
Bricks didn't travel to Minnesota or Maryland.
Did Tamua?
Yes.
Okay, Tamua is probably the young guy that you would start watching a little more closely. He's only a redshirt freshman.
All right, when we come back, let's shift the focus over to the black shirt defense. We're listening here to the Husker Online Show. And we're back here on the Husker Online Show. Sean Callahan, Steve Sipple, Robin Washett. This segment of the show brought to you by one of our favorite sponsors back in the fold, Tushy. Wow. And guys, Tushy, if you're not familiar, great product. Taking care of you, making sure you take care of business. And, we heard Sipple's bidet story at the Caribbean.
Yeah, it was an experience for sure.
Well, Tushy makes elite level bidets that you could have in your home. And, it's something that, it's a premium product that they've found a way to make it simple and easy where you can put, a bidet right into your system. It hooks up very easily. And you can get it done in 8 minutes, get it up, get it going with Tushy in 8 minutes. Thanks again to Tushy for sponsoring us here on the show. Remember, a hole is only a naughty word if you wipe. This is not a super chat, by the way. For a limited time, our listeners get 10% off their first bidet order when you use the code HuskerOnline at checkout. That's 10% off your bidet order, your first bidet order at hellotushy.com with the promo code HuskerOnline. Thanks again to Tushy for sponsoring us on the Husker Online show. Guys, but let's get into the defensive talk, because I do think the story that really did come out of the game last week for Nebraska was how well their secondary played. I mean, USC came in with arguably the best stable of receivers in the conference, or one of the best. Ohio State's obviously got one of the best too, but Mekhi Lemon and that crew, and the Huskers completely shut those guys down to the point where USC had to really kind of change what they were doing, and it evolved to more of a quarterback run game offense.
Yeah, and running back run game. But and I will say this, Sean, all due respect to you, USC does not touch Ohio State's receiving core, but they're good. Mekhi Lemon looked bad. I don't know what his deal was. I didn't think he played hard. He had 2 catches in that game. Jacoby Lane was just okay, but Nebraska's got a very, very strong secondary. Now we can say that. It's not, they don't play anybody. It's not any of that. What I was most impressed with is the way Donovan Jones and Rex Guthrie held up. Not just held up, played well. I thought they would go after those guys. They didn't really.
They did early.
A little early.
They went at Jones right away, and he had 2 breakups.
See, there you go. Now, Jones responded. That's huge. That's a huge game.
Guthrie had a big breakup on a deep ball.
Yeah, those are 2 young guys, right? Redshirt freshmen.
Yeah.
They went after him. They responded. They went after Marshall a little bit. I'd say he responded. And Marshall's great. Singleton's great. Sierra Wright's great. Those are great players.
Yeah, and it's hard to sugarcoat 202 rushing yards on 61 plays.
Thanks.
So that, I mean, as well as they played on the back end, they left a lot to be desired with their ability to stop the run, and especially against a USC team that was down to their 3rd string running back and a quarterback who hadn't had a designed run in 2 games, one designed run in 2 games, and they let him run wild. So that was concerning. But so there's a kind of a give and take with that. But you go down the line. You mentioned a couple on in the secondary of young players that are making significant impacts on this defense. And if you're looking for reasons for optimism about where this thing is going, at least on the defensive side of the ball, there is one player after another, true freshman, redshirt freshman, sophomore, that are starting, playing significant snaps, and making impacts every single week. And so, I think that when you see Donovan Jones and Rex Guthrie and Williams Nwaneri and Cade Petschok and these all these young guys at every level, Vincent Shavers, really start to come into their own late in the season. There's a ton of value that with you look kind of the long-term trajectory of this defense and what John Butler's building on that side of the ball.
And guys, in the secondary, they're second nationally in yards per game allowed. They're second nationally in yards per completion, so 128.3 yards per game, 9.09 yards per completion. They're tied for the fewest touchdown passes allowed with Ohio State, and that's 3.
Jeez.
So, I mean, it's no fluke now. We're 9 games in, 10 weeks in.
Yep.
And, early in the year, they got Cincinnati on the right day, and then Houston Christian and Akron are terrible. So they kind of got up there but now they've had a full schedule of conference games where, even the yards per attempt, Nebraska ranks 3rd nationally, only behind San Diego State and Oregon.
Yeah, the stats are real now. Now they go into a game it was interesting today. Listening to John Butler talk about the first thing he said about UCLA is a really good running team. Then you look at the stats. UCLA, it was a little confusing. He said they really run the ball well. Well, they rank 124th nationally in rushing, but since Neuheisel took over Jerry.
That's the caveat.
Yeah, since Jerry took over, and he took over a month ago, going into the Penn State game, they've increased the yardage by about 20 a game, according to Butler. So they are running it better. I'm gonna leave as scary. That's Sean. That's Rob. That's the game. That's the game.
Because he's a big horse, as you like to say.
He is a big horse.
And
he's a snorting big horse.
And he probably runs.
Hear him snorting out.
He probably runs a 4.640. I mean, he's built like a tight end.
Yeah, he was a volleyball player. I mean, he's an athletic dude.
Ia Maleava.
Is that how you?
I had to like look up the phonetic pronunciation.
Ia Maleava.
Ia Maleava.
Well,
So
Simple and I met his dad, Nick, this summer.
Big man.
Mm-hmm.
Nick was huge.
Big man. Yeah, he was here for the 7-on-7 event.
Yeah, we were watching a game, him coaching against Cam Newton.
That's pretty crazy.
We tweeted that, and one of the first comments was like, "Am I on Mars?"
It kind of felt like that.
I mean, we're in Nebraska watching Nico's dad, Nick, coaching against Cam. It was just wild.
It was wild. So that's a lot of this game. Now, you guys scheme with me here. Nebraska is a team that plays 60% to 70% man-to-man and match coverages. A lot of back to the ball. Do you do that now? Can you do that against this guy?
As long as you're accounting for the QB run game / scramble game at the second level, I think that's something they've done spies before. They did it a little bit against Michigan. They did it against Michigan State. Against mobile dual threat quarterbacks and had some success to a degree. So I think that's probably something you have to, maybe you dial back your blitzes. Cause they've been aggressive with the way they've attacked the quarterback, but they haven't gotten home. So that's kind of the fine line you got to walk. Like, do you want to continue to put pressure on the quarterback, but then leave yourself at the risk of QB scrambles against a quarterback that thrives off broken plays and making improv plays with his feet? That's kind of the chess match that Butler's going to have to walk on Saturday night. Is you can't just totally dial back your pressure, but you have to pick your spots. And then the players, when you do bring pressure, they have to get home as much as possible because they've missed way too much on their blitzes.
Yeah, they haven't.
In their defensive ends that come off the edge, they tend to just get upfield too far and don't really get a good angle. And the quarterback steps up properly. What worries me too, UCLA is coming off a bye week. So Nico will be fresh. He's taken a lot of hits.
Yes, that's a good point. Yeah, the bye week.
They dialed back his run volume too, and they slowly started to pick that up. So I would expect a heavy dose of him.
They want to go to a bowl game. That's the thing. UCLA is thinking, hey, we can still get to a bowl.
You feel pretty good though, because you come off of a game where USC came off of a bye week, and I think you'd agree. Lincoln Riley, who's one of the best play callers in the world, his impact wasn't what I thought it would be. The flea flicker was a great call.
The 2-point conversion.
That was a good call. There were some good calls. There's going to be good calls, but by and large, I don't think they didn't find rhythm in the passing game. The guy was 9 for 23. What Rule pointed out critically was they had 337 yards, 107 over a 6-play span. Nebraska did a pretty good job. It's just like Rob said, it's just hard to heap too much praise on a defense that allows 200 yards on the ground.
Yeah, you didn't have to get too far into Lincoln's bag when you're running for 200 plus yards with your third string back and your quarterback's just scrambling all over the place. Like you go pretty simple at that point. You don't have to get overly creative.
All right, guys, when we come back, Abby Barmore will join the program. We'll take your questions in the mailbag. You're listening here to the Husker Online Show. And we're back here on the Husker Online Show. Sean Callahan, Steve Sipple, Robin Washhead, Abby Barmore joining the program. But before we get to that, this segment of the show brought to you by Crani-Yum. What are we all drinking right now on the show? We all have a Crani-Yum. All of us have a different flavor.
Mine's warm and it still tastes good.
Yeah, Sipple.
We just restocked
the Dr. Yums, and Sipple didn't realize it was warm, but he is enjoying one. And Robin and I have the Melon Crisp
grapefruit soda.
But nothing better to get you through 6 football games in 6 weeks to give you the mental clarity, the focus that you need than a Crani-Yum energy drink. It's made right here in Nebraska by 2 lifelong Nebraskans and Husker fans based in Fremont. And it offers some caffeine, 150 milligrams of all naturally sourced caffeine, gives you the benefits you want. It's all natural as well, giving you the great focus you want with the different nootropics and things they have to it. And it comes in a lot of great flavors. We've heard from so many of you that have said, man, I have tried that. It's good stuff.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I'm serious. I got friends who demand it. They always ask me, where do you get it? It's clarity is what we're talking about. The key word is clarity. It gives you mental clarity.
it kind of just levels you out a little bit.
Yeah, I always tell Sean I need some clarity. And that's why I get Crani.
Like Robin will slip up here on a Saturday during the farmer's market just to swipe a Crani
for some clarity.
Yeah, I need some smooth energy and extreme focus.
That's what the can says, but you can get it online, obviously. But in stores, Hy-Vee
Your
has
wife
it.
ain't buying it.
Elite Nutrition here in Lincoln carries it. A lot of other places, but all your Hy-Vees in the area, and a lot of different retailers carry it around the state. But order it online. We've got a deal for you with Husker Online. Go to drinkcrani-yum.com. Use the promo code Husker Online. You'll get 10% off your order with free shipping. You can use that code unlimited times. So that's the best price you'll get with Crani-Yum, and you'll get free shipping right to your house. Again, that's drinkcrani-yum.com, promo code Husker Online. All right, Abby, let's get in the mailbag.
How are Lateef's strengths different from Raiola's, and how does that impact the offense?
Well, it's a huge impact.
Running.
I mean, the biggest thing that Dana Holgerson talked about on Tuesday was the legs. I mean, he's a runner. The offense will look. See, it's interesting listening to Dana because he says I call the same plays. Look, it'll look a little different because of what we saw. In fact, Sean, Rob, do they throw some zone read in, some read option? Do they do that?
Watch the safeties. How will UCLA safeties play Lateef?
Mm-hmm. I think you do run the zone read to bring those safeties up, like we talked about earlier, and that opens up some more downfield opportunities because I think Lateef throws a good deep ball, and hopefully they can exploit that.
Can you just put in read option like in a few days?
I mean, they do some of it. They've run some with Dylan.
Yeah.
Just run more of it.
Oh.
And you don't want to overdo it, though.
Right. You can't make it the foundation of your offense, but it's certainly a wrinkle they can lean on.
All right, next question.
What are the top 3 areas that Nebraska needs to improve in to have a successful November?
Ooh, great
Run
question.
defense.
Game management and just like how to manage a Big Ten win, a game. I mean, I think you're going to be put in situations as a team and a coaching staff where there's 1 or 2 key moments. And in a game like Nebraska's played, that's the difference.
Run defense, game management. You're talking about the head coach, probably.
All of the above.
And with a true freshman quarterback. Like getting the operation going. Like that was one of the things you took for granted. You mentioned it with Dylan. Like that was never a concern with Dylan. He was going to get guys lined up, get the play called, make the checks at the line because he was as knowledgeable and familiar with the offense as anybody on the roster. Now you lose all that pretty much. I mean, Lateef's, I'm sure, prepping as much as he can, but he's not going to be at the level of Dylan.
No, that operation question is the biggest one in my head. Does he look, disoriented at times?
Especially going on the road for 2 of these next 3 games.
Again, though, they got to get a break by not going to the horseshoe or something. Yeah, I mean,
defending mobile quarterbacks too.
Yeah,
because they're going to see one here for sure against Iowa. I don't know enough about Penn State.
He's not mobile.
They caught a break there.
Yeah, he's not mobile.
All of a sudden, they'll run the option though against Nebraska.
I don't think so. I got to be careful. I always saw that guy a little bit, but he doesn't look mobile. If you know what I mean. Go ahead.
All right. Better correction. Okay, next one. Where does Nebraska sit with 2-sport athlete Ahmad
Hudson?
Oh, where do they sit, Sean?
Hudson. That's a good Ahmad Hudson.
Where do they sit?
5-star tight end, high level basketball recruit. They're in the mix, but guys, this is a high dollar player. I mean, you're talking about a guy that
how high?
I don't know what the tight end market is, but he's also a basketball player. So I don't know.
It's a lot of money.
How, a player like him, Robin, if he did basketball, like he wouldn't even come over until like January, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So there's recent examples of that happening within the Big Ten. Keon Coleman did it at Michigan State before he transferred to Florida State. And then who's the guy for the Falcons, wide receiver? Can't think of his name right now. Was at USC. Anyway, he did it for a little bit. And those guys played like maybe 15 minutes total, like really minimal thing. So like Nebraska is going to offer the opportunity to play both sports, but he is a football player first and foremost and will join the basketball season whenever football is done.
All right. What do you got next, Abby?
What does Tay Ellis add to the class of 2027? Just committed yesterday.
Another elite receiver. And you kind of feel like you say that a lot. I mean, every commit, another receiver. So you almost get kind of a receiver fatigue commit, but this is a 4-star guy, a top level player. And look, Trey Taylor, he's been big in helping kind of put this class together.
2027 kid.
All right, what's next?
Okay, if Lateef plays well in the last 4 games, what are the chances of him and Raiola both being on this roster in the fall?
I think there's a chance. You just got to pay them both, right?
Yeah, it's a
come on, Sean.
complicated tightrope because what will the suitors be like for TJ Lateef if he plays well and they win a bowl game, or there's 4 games left, so his red shirt's burned. By the way, I mean he's played in 3 games now. Saturday will be his 4th, and that's the plan moving forward. So yeah, it will be. There's a lot there, but man, if you're TJ Lateef, what an opportunity you have.
Yeah, either way, I think if TJ plays well, he's going to be in for a big payday, whether it's from Nebraska or somebody else.
Do you think it's far flung what I said, that they could have them both next year?
Yeah,
How do you budget that?
Yeah, I mean, you can spend that much money on a backup
You'd have to spend.
when you have glaring needs elsewhere that
What's
are
the
just
combo
as expensive.
price? What's the combo deal?
I don't know what the number 2 quarterback value market is like, because like if you can, I don't even want to guess numbers because it's rev share now. It's different, and how much of your $15 million for football out of that rev share can you give to 2 quarterbacks?
I would
you got to
like
pay the rest of the
To
roster.
guess, I wish you would venture a guess. Is it $3 million?
Oh, I think in rev share that's too much.
Is it?
I mean that's so $3
You
million.
can add NIL to that.
Yeah, maybe with the NIL, but I don't know. I mean, does any team in college football have multiple $1 million quarterbacks on the roster? I think that's a better question for like a Pete Nakos. But
And he's going to have opportunities. If he plays well enough, should have opportunities to start. Does he want to go be a backup again?
All right, final question, Abby Barmore.
What are your fondest memories of the Rose Bowl? And it doesn't have to be Nebraska related.
Well, I went out there in 01 for the 02 game, and they played Miami. And that was the national championship game. So that was memorable for me because there were 60 to 70,000 Nebraska fans that went out there. It was wild, but little did we know Nebraska was going to get waxed like that. I mean, you kind of
knew actually.
I remember Dan Lebitard was with the Miami Herald back then, and I was at this pre-party and I was talking to him, and he looks at me, he goes, Nebraska has no chance in this game. I mean, as you can imagine how Dan Lebitard would say it.
Okay, I will tell you you talk to coaches all the time, so there's not a lot of moments that really stand out, but there's a moment with Frank that totally stands out. It was after their last practice, and they were practicing at USC, and he was getting on the bus, and I was there covering it, and I just stopped him, and we were making small talk, and I just said, Frank, this was not on the record, it was off the record. He wouldn't mind me telling you this all these years later. I said, what do you think? And he looked at me and goes, it's going to be tough. And I knew right then, this is trouble. Because he wouldn't say that. He would never say that the way he said it. He looked at me and just said, this is going to be tough.
Remember Mount
I
McKinney?
knew right then, so it's not happening.
There was either left or the right
Yeah,
tackle.
McKinney was, I think, their left tackle.
6'9".
Yeah. Well, yeah. Their roster was freaky. Shockey was crazy.
Winslow, Shockey,
Yeah.
McGahee.
Yeah.
And their entire 2 deeps in the NFL or went to the NFL.
Yeah. But my favorite, I don't have I wouldn't say just a favorite moment. I have this fond memories of childhood watching Terry Donahue. And by the way, they have a Terry Donahue statue outside. I don't know if it's outside. I think it's outside the Rose Bowl. Donahue was the coach during their heyday. And I like UCLA during their heyday. I like Donahue, and he has a sweet statue outside the stadium.
93, they went out there, and Lawrence Phillips had a big game, and that was a hard-fought win against a UCLA team that ended up going to the Rose Bowl that year. That UCLA team played Barry Alvarez, I believe, in the 93 Rose Bowl.
UCLA, Rob, used to be like legit. They were legit. They were pouring money into it, and now they don't. Now they don't care about football. Sean, is that going too far? Am I?
Jay Norvell would tell you that. He was there a while back.
I've heard Rick Neuheisel say it. I mean, they don't put enough into it.
I've only been out there once, and that was the 2012 Brent Hundley 300-yard 4-touchdown game when Nebraska beat them, when they beat Nebraska 36-30.
Oh yeah.
But I just remember walking up to the stadium for the first time and seeing the Rose Bowl sign. I was like, whoa, that's pretty cool.
Breathtaking.
Yeah, and it's like, one of those like just classic college football historical venues that when you're there, you're like, whoa, this is pretty sweet.
Oh, 100.
As far as games, it's hard to beat the the Iowa Stanford Rose Bowl where Christian McCaffrey set the Rose Bowl record for all-purpose yards, 368 yards. Basically did anything he wanted, ran back a punt, caught a touchdown pass, 45-16 Cardinal victory. That was fun.
What about
It's
Vince
awesome.
Young and Reggie Bush in that
Oh,
Rose
yeah.
Bowl? That was 05
From
Rose Bowl.
Texas USC.
Good one.
All right.
Good memories.
Well, Royal Chop House, by the way, Friday night.
Okay,
guys.
so tell me about this place.
It's the only prime steakhouse in Pasadena. It's got good reviews. We put the Nicks on Maestros because I didn't want to drive an hour to get out
You
there.
put the Knicks on Maestros sort of without telling me, which is interesting. But
Well,
this is
$200 in Uber rides didn't really entice me.
No, and this is walking distance.
Yes.
Really
Yeah. A mile.
perfect.
Sip and I might venture to Dodger Stadium Saturday morning
You're welcome.
to buy some gear.
Can I join?
Robin wants to watch the FIU basketball game.
I do. I got to lock in. That's going to be a 10 a.m. tip out there.
That's right.
That's
It's 10
right.
a.m.
Big one.
Wow.
All right. Should be a great trip. Thank you, Abby. When we come back, we'll close the show with what we learned in the Big Ten and what's next. You're listening here to the Husker Online Show. Final segment of the Husker Online Show. Sean Callahan, Steve Sipple, Robin Washad. We're brought to you by Ridge Wallets. And guys, we're traveling this week. It means you got to get your travel identifications, everything organized for a road trip.
Need your license.
As Sipple gets his wallet all, I see you start trying to.
I don't need a
rifle
bunch
through.
of identifications.
But what Ridge does,
We're not going to
we're not
Paris.
going to, we're not going to
Papers.
Mexico.
But go ahead.
All right, but Ridge Wallets, they have their credit card size wallet, and you can fit 12 cards stacked right in there with your cash. It is the way to travel. You can put it in your front pocket. It fits in there like a glove. They also have traditional wallets, not just wallets though, guys. They have keychains, luggage, bags, all sorts of great travel items with Ridge. That's Steve Sipple's wallet on the left, by the way.
Yeah, I thought that was a Ridge wall, but there was an example of
That was an
not to
example of
have.
what you don't need. There's
Right.
Sipple's and there's Ridge.
Yeah, that actually is small compared to mine. That bad example.
You've got a yellow page,
I wish it-
thick wallet,
I
but
wish mine was like that.
we've got a great deal with Ridge Wallets with Husker Online. Just simply use the promo code Husker at ridge.com/Husker, and you're going to get 10% off your order at Ridge. Again, that's promo code Husker. And there's a Dodger wallet, so I need to get on there and check that out at ridge.com/Husker. 10% off your order at Ridge. Thanks to Ridge for sponsoring us here on the Husker Online Show. But guys, Big Ten games last week. Not a lot of intrigue. Ohio State was able to take care of Penn State. It was close for 2 quarters, and they pulled away 38-14. Illinois handles Rutgers. That was a big game for those guys. Indiana hammers Maryland. I mean, they're like putting like 1990s Nebraska scores on people.
Well, they ran for 367, okay, and allowed 37 yards rushing. That is Nebraska like of the 90s, right?
Minnesota 23-20. They get bowl eligible. PJ Fleck.
They did.
He's like undefeated in bowl games too. He'll go to some lower tier Big Ten bowl game and they'll win it.
Go to Detroit and beat a directional Michigan school.
I bet they'll go to New York.
Okay.
It seems like they're
Have they been there? That's the question, because New York they don't want to go. Remember they said they don't want to double up.
everyone's been there though now by this point. I mean, it's been like 8 or 9 teams over 9. I mean, there's been no repeat teams there. So yeah, it'll be interesting if they're the New York team.
We were not going back.
No. Unless Matt Rule really wants to, which I highly doubt that they want to go. They want to go somewhere different. Michigan 21-16 winner over Purdue. And again, the Boilermakers, by the way, Maccabee is out for the year.
Ooh, ouch.
So, and I believe Justice Haynes is out for the year.
He is.
So
Yep.
another clear sign that Emmett Johnson's path to all Big Ten running back of the year. Well, 2 of the other top running backs are out now.
Maccabee wasn't going to be a threat, but Haynes was the threat.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
That's significant for Emmett. That's rushing title, first team All Big Ten, potentially a running back of the year. Like that's
wow.
the path is there.
Wow.
Got to keep riding.
If I would have told you in the preseason, Emmett Johnson could be, or Nebraska could either have the quarterback of the year or the running back of the year, what would you have taken?
Yeah.
Like, what would you thought was more realistic?
No question.
Yeah, probably quarterback.
Exactly. I mean, that's Emmett Johnson's story is remarkable when you think about it. But
he has taken his game to another level. God, that's
Minnesota did.
stating the obvious to a large degree. But go ahead.
For clarity's sake, Minnesota did play in the Pinstripe Bowl in 2022.
20.
22.
Oh, so they're
Probably clear runway for them.
Beat Syracuse.
That's a clear run.
You know what
right?
they're probably hoping for is Penn State getting to
yeah.
6 wins,
Yeah.
6-6 Penn State to the Pinstripe Bowl.
Oh yeah,
That would make a lot of sense.
That would be the one that probably happens. The problem with the Big Ten, Maryland could get to 6 wins still, maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Northwestern, 6 wins could get there. But yeah, let's go through this week's game. Friday Night Football in LA. We're not going, by the way.
Okay.
Northwestern at USC.
We're not going.
Why not?
Because we're going to a
We're going to go to Arroyo Steakhouse.
Yeah.
Could watch it on TV.
So that would be a 6 o'clock Pacific, 8 o'clock Central kick.
Somewhat interesting. I mean, USC thinks they have designs on the CFP.
Mhm.
I don't see them as a playoff team. Did that look like a playoff team to you?
No.
Their defense didn't seem elite enough to me.
No, they were pretty. I mean, you could really run on them.
Indiana at Penn State. I think this is a tricky game. Indiana should hammer them. They're 14.5-point favorites. But man, Penn State at home, you just don't. I mean, they got talent on that team.
They
guys.
do. They do. A lot of 2nd through 4th round talent. I agree with you, Sean. I don't rate Penn State on the bottom 4 of the conference. They're not. They're
Indiana
not.
struggled on the road at Iowa, so I mean, like, it's not like they're an automatic 30-point victor like every
I don't
single
think
week.
so.
Like, if they are sluggish, Penn State has the talent to keep up.
And then you've got Ohio State at Purdue and Maccabee out for the year for Purdue. That game could get ugly in Ross-Ade Stadium at 11. It's a noon kick, actually. Noon Central kick on BTN.
Yeah, Purdue's kind of hung around with some decent teams, though. You know, they can hang around. They hang around Michigan. They push Michigan.
Maryland at Rutgers. Big game for bowl eligibility for both those teams to get to 5 wins.
I'm really interested in that. I'm definitely going to watch.
Must see. FS1.
Nebraska volleyball will probably get more viewers than that game will. And I'm not kidding.
No, I'm not either.
Actually,
Nebraska volleyball is on at 2:30.
Is there any other game?
Oregon at Iowa.
Oh my God,
that's the big.
Is there any other games? Yeah.
What a monster game that is! On about 7 different levels, including, man, they're talking like the Big Ten might only have 2 entrants into the playoff. Oregon needs to win that game.
Oregon plays USC still too.
Yeah, they'll be okay. But I don't know if they can beat Iowa. I don't know.
I mean, Iowa is the only team that's played Penn State really close. Or I'm sorry, Indiana. I'm sorry, Indiana.
Yeah.
Sorry. You looked at me like, what?
Not a great feather in your cap, but playing Indiana is a feather in their cap. Monster game. I mean, how good is Iowa? Well, we'll find out a little bit more.
I think they're pretty good, guys. I think they're pretty tough.
Yeah, let's see what they.
How good's Oregon?
I know. I'm telling you, on about 7 level, and we can watch this game. I think for most of it. What time do we got to go over this to the stadium?
We're going to Uber, so
we don't have to go over
12:30 our time.
And the game we play is at 6, so we can watch the first half for sure.
Yeah,
we'll see.
Got to watch.
And then Washington at Wisconsin. I mean, more or less, I think Luke Fickell still is the story. I mean, if they lose that game, they'll be 2-7. He's
the story. Watch Fish in Florida, the Florida job. If Fish keeps winning, his name will keep getting attached to those SEC
and they'll be
jobs.
7-2 if they win. And then obviously Nebraska, UCLA. That spread now, as we tape this show, is down to only 1.5 for UCLA.
Okay. We spent a lot of time trying to dissect who's going to play in the Pinstripe Bowl, which was a very bizarre time for our show.
I think we're down to like Penn State, Maryland, or Rutgers.
Sean's keeping it going.
Well, do I need to make my Peter Luger reservation on the chance?
No, I don't think we're going back there. They don't want back-to-back.
No, I'm kidding.
I'd love it. I wouldn't mind it.
I just want to go to Tampa.
Hey, Penn State has a path to 6. Michigan State, they got Nebraska at home, and then Rutgers.
Okay. Why do you want to go to Tampa so bad, by the way?
Because I like the date of the game, the 31st, and you can be home for Christmas and leave the day after Christmas.
Warm weather.
Short, as you would say, short pants.
Yeah.
Short pants.
We haven't been there.
Bring your short pants this weekend.
I'm going to.
Your brother could come down and see you in Tampa.
Yeah, Marty would come down right from Tallahassee, not very far. I think I'm going to say 2.5 hour drive.
I like to think, though, that Tampa and Nashville and Vegas all want Nebraska. Now, if Nebraska can get to 7 wins, they'd be in really good shape for one of those games.
Mm-hmm. Predict it. 7 wins. Where are they going?
Well, if you get to 7 wins, any bowl game can take them over an 8-win team. You can always go 1 win down. So they'll treat a 7-win team like an 8-win team.
That smells like Nashville.
Yeah. It just depends on the playoff spots too, because if the Big Ten only gets 2 or 3 playoff spots,
then they're getting bumped down.
Then everybody kind of slots down.
I got news for you. They're not getting over 3. Threes. You better hope they get 3.
They're like Michigan's going to get one of those Florida spots. Like they're going to go to Orlando or Tampa. Which one? What they went to? Michigan went to Tampa last year, right? And Iowa went to Nashville.
God dang, Nebraska could get pushed pretty far down.
Vegas. It's a good thing Lincoln got that direct flight to Vegas.
Doesn't start till April.
Oh.
I'd welcome Vegas.
All right, you want to go back?
Yeah, I've
Golden
spent enough
Steer.
time there lately.
If we ever get in there, everyone that I've talked to that's tried to get in there can't get in there.
We can try something else.
All right. Well, great show. You were pretty serious about that. Not off to Vegas. We're off to LA. Nebraska, UCLA, Saturday night, 8 p.m. Central. Join us there. Husker Online postgame live. It's going to be a late show, probably about a 12:30 Central Time start.
It's fine.
After midnight. But we look forward to bringing it to you.